Now back to the story of how I got here. Following my vomit cleaning, study-filled years, I ended up getting a job as a marketing coordinator, which progressed into a marketing manager position. This experience lasted 2 years, and it was one of the greatest jobs I could hold because it taught me even more about what I needed in order to make my own online business work. My eyes were always on the prize. My job taught me the value of direct response marketing and the value of selling online education, which is something that people always seek, something they always need, something that you get to price yourself without permission, and you have a global market to sell to, 24 hours a day. It unlocked my eyes to creating a great product, building a community around that interest, and marketing it over and over, with the sales coming in hour after hour, day after day, including when you sleep. So what is the core of my business now? Exactly what I learned during my long, cold, gray office years, which is selling digital products. Through what I learned during every single job I ever had, including the bar jobs, I have now created and mastered my go-to formula. Launching very successfully 5 times now, selling upwards of $5 million in revenue, most of that being pure profit. This has been repeated in a vast range of interest areas as well. This all might sound very simple to you, or perhaps you're rolling your eyes thinking, I'm sure it worked for you, but it won't work for me. Sure, you can say that to yourself, and it will be true. I instead chose to see other people living this type of life and seeing it as evidence that this world was meant for me, and that if other people could do it, so could I. All I needed to do now was to skill myself up within the necessary areas to get to my goal of working wherever in the world I wanted to. I absorbed every drop of information around me to see if it was suitable for my online monetization journey, chose to be very selective with my time, and unfortunately made those sacrifices not to go out and party because there was nothing tastier than freedom, which was in the near-ish distance. Paired that with my unshakable confidence that I would succeed with no backup plan. And I got there. This is why this book you're about to read is so significant. While it took me from the age of 19 until 30 to figure out the formula, which is replicable within my field, category, and interest area, and which more or less guarantees results, I know it probably didn't have to take this long. I never had a manual. I never had a roadmap. When I started my journey, the idea of working online and living wherever in the world I wanted to, for as long as I wanted, simply was not a real possibility. It was inconceivable. In fact, people laughed at it and at anyone trying to pursue this world. There were hardly any examples of people living this way because, indeed, the internet wasn't as saturated as it is today. A full, wonderful, endless library to help you grow and accessible at your fingertips. I used to have to fight with people, saying how outdated the 9-to-5 office work model was and that people need to work less and be able to work remotely in order to be happier and more productive. And then the COVID pandemic hit, and it swiftly shifted most people's perceptions from thinking this world was impossible to realizing it was actually a much better way of working. But then people were left with the question of how to live this new lifestyle forever, maybe even wanting to become their own boss, and how to start this journey. That's why I'm thrilled you're holding this significant book in your hands from a woman who accomplished great success for herself at such a young age, defying all the odds to come out on top, someone who is living a life that almost everyone dreams of. I personally never thought to create a roadmap for people interested in escaping the 9-to-5 grind and transitioning into their next remote work chapter. My path wasn't smooth, and I wouldn't know how to put it into a manual. But Alexandra Fasulo figured out the essential components you need to make